All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today. We're going to unpack a story from a product designer who went all in and built a product from the ground up from 0 to 1 using AI. It's a real glimpse into what designing is starting to look like right now.
So we're starting right in the trenches here. This isn't some abstract theory, you know? This is a real-world story from someone who actually did it, built a brand new product with AI as their partner, their co-pilot.
And they've laid out the whole journey for us. We're going to look at the new workflow they discovered, some really smart tips to get things done way faster, and then there's this one big challenge that popped up. It's a great roadmap for what we're about to explore.
Okay, first things first, the process. How does this even work? Well, it turns out there's a surprisingly clear 3-part workflow when you're building with an AI.
The big takeaway here is structure. You might think working with AI would be total chaos, right? Just throwing prompts at a wall and seeing what sticks, but no. The designer found a repeatable 3-step method that actually brings some serious order to the whole thing.
All right, so here's how it breaks down. Phase 1, building the framework. This is the big picture stuff. You tell the AI the pages you need, the main functions, and boom, it spits out a sitemap in about an hour. Wild. Then, phase 2, you add the functional details. You describe what actually happens on each page, uploads, sharing, and the AI starts populating everything with layouts. That takes a few hours. But look at phase 3, polish and validate. This is where the human touch is still absolutely key. Getting the spacing right, the visual hierarchy, all the little edge cases. That still takes the most time, about 3 days.
So, that workflow is already fast, but how do you really put the pedal to the metal? The designer shared 3 awesome tips to squeeze every last drop of speed out of this process. First, and this one's huge, wait to do all your pixel-perfect adjustments until the very end. Seriously, if you start tweaking details too early, you're just going to have to do it all over again when the AI makes a structural change. Second, just keep an eye on the horizon. AIs are getting better and better with design systems, so pretty soon they'll probably handle a lot of that polishing work for us. And a great little pro tip, if you find yourself endlessly rewriting text prompts, just stop. It's often way easier and faster to just whip something up in Figma and show the AI what you want visually.
So what does all this add up to? What's the bottom line? Well, if you have a decent component library ready to go, you can get from a totally blank page to a full, ready-to-be-reviewed prototype in just 2 to 3 days.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That is an absolutely massive jump in design speed. It fundamentally changes the timeline for taking an idea and making it real. But, and this is a big but, all of this incredible speed comes with a price. A new kind of problem we really need to talk about.
And this gets us to the real tension at the heart of this new workflow. It's called the explainability problem. The speed is fantastic, but it forces us to leave something really important behind.
As a designer, your entire job revolves around these questions, right? When you show your work, you have to be ready to defend it. Why this layout? Why'd you pick that button? What were the other options you thought about? Your whole credibility is built on having good answers.
And this slide just lays out the problem perfectly. A human designer's choices come from this rich mix of experience, research, business goals, and, that gut instinct you develop over years. But an AI-generated design, the why behind it is basically a black box. The AI gives you an answer, but it doesn't show its work. The whole story behind the design just vanishes.
So if the AI is giving us the what, but not the why, what does that mean for the designer? It means our role has to change. It's not about being replaced, it's about evolving.
And here's the solution. Human-AI collaboration. Think of it as a partnership. The AI is the one that's amazing at the heavy lifting, cranking out the structured work at lightning speed. The designer's job? It shifts the focus on strategy and justification. Our new role is to take what the AI built and rebuild the why, to add the human context and the strategic reasoning back into the picture.
And this is really the bottom line, the key takeaway from this whole thing. Look, generating ideas is getting easier and faster every single day, but the real craft of design, the core of it, has always been the deep work. Understanding people, understanding the business, and being able to stand by your choices and explain exactly why they're the right ones.
In the end, as the author so cleverly puts it, maybe this is just how progress works. We build up these beautifully reasoned arguments for why we do things, and then a new technology comes along and just washes it all away. It really leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? How do we protect the value of human reason in an age of artificial speed? Thanks for tuning in.